AI makes it incredibly easy to produce huge amount of stuff that nobody really wants. And we even have a word for it. It's called AI slop. And the scary part is that making slop feels productive. So that's why here are the 5 tests to make sure what you're shipping is actually worth a person's time. Hi everyone, I'm Satyam Shivare and I've shipped 8 plus products in the past 10 years. And during this time, I have faced a lot of failures and I have learned a lot of things also. So I have compressed all of those things into a book called AI for Founders that I'm completely giving it away for free right now. So you can check the description or you can simply comment AI for Founders and I will personally DM it to your inbox. As a matter of fact, whatever we are going to discuss right now is also just a very tiny part of that book. So all the content you are going to learn in this video is also present inside of that book. By the end of this video, you will have 5 quick tests that you can perform on anything that you are about to ship so that you can stop confusing volume with value and start making things people actually use. Test number 1. If a model can spit it out for free, it is not your product. And yes, it is a brutal reality. If you want to create a product with the help of AI today, you need to create something that a model simply cannot ship for free. If what you're creating can be shipped by Gemini or OpenAI completely for free in their system, well, you don't have a product. You just have a wrapper on top of their model, and that's it. For example, there was this company called Jasper. What they were doing is that they were giving ability to send generic emails or text to different prospects for sales and lead generation. And after that, ChatGPT hit the market, and guess what? The Jasper tanked because what Jasper was providing was actually provided for free with the help of ChatGPT itself. So the Jasper company just tanked. And I have written a whole chapter on this whether your product is just an AI wrapper or not in the book. There's also a Jasper test that I've explained in the book that can tell you whether your product is actually just another Jasper story or it is something far greater. But the key takeaway right now is that if a model can ship that thing for free, then your product is not really adding any value. Test number 2. Volume isn't value. One great thing will always beat the 10 mediocre ones. AI will tempt you to win on the quantity because it can produce a lot of it. It can produce a lot of it very fast. So you can generate 1,000 emails very fast. And yes, there are cases where that quantity is going to be the quality for your business. But a lot of the times, what you're shipping will heavily rely on the quality, not the quantity side. And how do you actually build quality in a product? Well, you solve exactly the problem that your customers are facing, the users are facing. You do not build something generic that anybody can use by making changes themselves in that thing. You build something that is a complete, clear solution to a problem that your users are facing right now. That's how you build something of value and not AI slop. So clearly you can understand what you really need to do is talk to your users, figure out what are the exact problem that they are facing and build a very clear solution for that with the help of AI. Of course, you only need to integrate AI in that workflow or in that solution if it actually adds a value. If the solution can work without AI, go ahead and do it because your users does not really care about AI. They only care about their problem getting fixed. And that is why creating 10 different generic features in your product is not going to really do anything for you. But creating one feature that your customer truly wants that they cannot live without is going to be a huge leverage for your product in the market. And the payoffs are crazy. And I want you to understand that there are products which does not really use AI all that much and they are very successful. And when you will look at those products, you will feel like, oh man, this is just a to-do list. For example, I came across this product, okay, and the main thing that the product was doing was creating to-do list for these businesses and their branches. So what happens is that a lot of businesses, for example, restaurants, they actually have a few things that they need to do every single day before starting their store, right? And a lot of the times, these restaurants have multiple chains. So there are multiple stores, right? And they need to make sure that all the stores are following those checks, those to-do items. What this company did is that they actually built a product with the templates, okay? So they had templates for all the checks, all the things that a particular type of industry or niche will have to do. And they just provided that in an app and just gave it to the users. And now users are using it. All it is just a to-do list app. That's all it is. People do things on their own and then they check mark it on their app that, okay, I have done this thing right now. That is crazy, right? There is not much AI used. It's just a to-do list app and it works wonders. It is actually something used by hundreds of thousands of people across the world. And the reason is because they actually solved a very clear problem for businesses. And that's what makes their product valuable. Their product is not valuable because there is AI in it. Their product is valuable because it solves very clear, specific, particular problems for their users. The key takeaway is don't output 10 different generic features. Create a few truly important features for your users. Test number 3. SLOP is generic and value is specific to the user's context. And we have already talked about this thing in the previous section, but this section is also talking about the same thing because it is very important. In the test 2, the main purpose was to make sure that you are not spending your time into creating a lot of features. They may not be generic. Remember, those features can be specific to different people, but you're simply creating a lot of it and all of them are becoming mediocre at the end of the day. This test built on top of it. Once you have figured out a few things that you are going to do, you need to make sure that all those things are specific to the user's context. If those features does not fit the user's need, those features are not needed. And so the test number 3 is all about you going out of your way to do research, to actually go ahead and ask your customers themselves, what is it that they are facing in their problems. Do not ask them what they want. Ask them what is the thing that they need to get rid of in their business and simply get rid of that because that is the most painful thing for them in their business, in their context. And if you can solve that, they will definitely buy your product. The test number 1 made sure that you do not create something that OpenAI can just ship tomorrow and kill your product. The test number 2 made sure that you are not spending your time in a lot of different features on your product. You are picking a few very high quality features. And the test number 3 is telling you how you can actually make those features valuable. If you are picking up a few features, you need to make sure that those features are truly specific to the user's context. The key takeaway for test 3 is that if you are making something for everyone, it's probably not going to help anyone. Test number 4. Make the user faster or richer. Otherwise, your product is just a filler. Every useful thing does one of the two jobs. It saves you time or it makes you money. If your product does not do any of that clearly, then your product is nothing more than a filler. So you need to really ask this question, what does this product actually solve for the user? When a user consumes this product, what is the concrete thing that gets solved or that gets changed in the user's life? For example, using Claude Code will save you a lot of time in coding. That's a very clear benefit for the user. It really saves time and it means we will have more time to do other things. So you also need to make sure that you are creating something that will somehow save either time or make money for the users. The key takeaway is if your product does not save time or make money, then your product is just a filler. It's not a real product. Test number 5. If you wouldn't pay for your product or you wouldn't use your own product, neither will they. This is the final gut check and the most honest one. If you are the one who is not going to pay for this or you are not going to use your own product, then why would someone else use it? Look at what you made and ask yourself, will I actually pay for this product or not? Or even spend 10 minutes on it if some stranger would have made it. And if the answer is no, then just ship your product anyways and your audience will quietly agree with you by ignoring your product. The thing is that most founders actually saw some problem or faced a problem in their life or in the life of the people that they were knowing around them, and then they actually started creating product for it. So first of all, they already had their first users who will actually use their product because the founder knew who will get benefit from that product the first. And it also served as a check that if those people are not using this product, it means it's not good enough right now. The more feedback they will get, the more they will do, the more feedback they will get, and then more they will do. And they will do it till those people start saying that yes, it's a good product and they actually end up using it for a long time. That's when the founder knew that, okay, now we can hit the market because it is actually useful. And so if you're creating a product that solves a problem that you yourself have not faced yet, then you will not have any indication of whether the product is good enough right now or not. So at least you or your co-founder or someone in your team must have faced that problem so that you will know when the product is good enough. The key takeaway is that be your own toughest customer. If you will skip your product, so will they. Here is a recap of all the 5 tests that we discussed in this video. First of all, can a model ship your AI feature for free? If yes, you don't have a product. Second one, are you focusing more on volume of the work than quality of the work, the value of the work? If yes, you need to flip it. You need to focus more on the value you are providing instead of the volume that you are doing. The third one, is your thing generic or specific to the user's context? If your thing is specific to the user's context, then only it is valuable. Any generic thing that can be used by everyone probably is not going to help anyone. Fourth one, does your product saves time or makes money for the users? If not, you need to really rethink your product. Your product must directly or indirectly save time or make money for your users in some way. The fifth one, if you will not pay for your product or even use it, neither will they. So you have to be your toughest customer to crack. Remember that AI makes the cost of producing stuff to pretty much zero which means it also made the cost of producing worthless stuff also zero. That's why there is so much AI slop nowadays. And your job is to refuse to create AI slop. Now, if all that was useful, then go ahead and subscribe because next video is a practical one. It will tell us where AI actually saves us time and where it quietly destroys it. And of course, the next chapter is also from my book called AI for Founders. And if you want that book completely for free, go ahead and look in the description links, or you can also just comment AI for Founders and I will provide it in your inbox. And also, I would like to ask you what is the sloppiest AI content that you have seen in this week? Now, with that, we will meet in the next video. Till then, Satyam Shivare signing off.